Hey everyone, welcome back to theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Again, that website address is theclinicaltrialsguru.com. In my opinion, the best place online for clinical trials content, whether you're someone who works in the industry, someone who's interested in the industry, someone interested in joining a study, whatever the case may be. We've been doing this for a little over 2.5 years now. We've been blessed with a nice audience, a pretty good sized audience, and we're getting tons of questions on a daily basis through different social media channels, specifically Twitter. So I got one today on Twitter. It's from an aspiring CRA, and for those of you who may not know what that means, CRA is otherwise known as a monitor. They're clinical research associates. They are the ones that the CROs or the sponsors of a study send out to the research sites to sort of audit the sites on an ongoing basis. So those of you who work in the industry, and certainly those of you at research clinics, are very familiar with CRAs. For those of you who want a little more information on what a CRA is, just go check out some of our other videos on the blog. Just do a search for CRA. I have an introductory video there on what a CRA is. This question is, what would you recommend for an aspiring CRA to do? So this individual, he's currently in a postgraduate program, which is good. I recommend it. They kind of teach fundamentals of research and good clinical practice and CRA responsibilities and things like that. What do I recommend? That was the question. So in addition to that, which is very good by the way, the education is always important, you want to have experience. And most CRAs that I've ran into in the field, in the real world, most CRAs that I deal with on a daily basis started out as coordinators, and clinical research coordinators. So my advice to this person was to either intern for a couple months at a research clinic as a research coordinator or maybe a research assistant, or actually get hired and maybe work for a year or two at a research clinic as a research coordinator. Like I said, most CRAs that I've come across actually started out as study coordinators. So that's what I recommend, and there are tons of programs like this one. I'm not going to name any names, but there's plenty of programs out there. Just do a Google search on clinical research associate programs or clinical research associate courses. There's tons of courses. Now, as far as educational requirements, usually they want bachelor's and some kind of science-related stuff. There have been exceptions. I mean, there's people who have bachelor's of arts that are CRAs, but usually they want someone with a little bit of a science background. So if you have a bachelor's of science, they want someone who can kind of understand some of the molecular components of research, maybe be able to answer some of the investigators' questions on a particular drug, or just kind of have a working knowledge of science, of the science behind a particular drug or a particular study. That's not a rule, but it's generally what they're looking for when they hire CRAs. Another thing is just the experience, just the work experience, and at least a bachelor's of science. I've seen many people with master's degrees go on to become CRAs. So something with a science background and definitely a lot of work experience in the clinical research industry, preferably as a clinical research coordinator. Now there's no rules to any of this stuff. There have been cases that CRAs were hired as entry-level CRAs. That is possible, but your odds are much better if you have some work experience as a clinical research coordinator. Hopefully this answers your question. There's going to be tons of more videos coming up. Right now I wanted to give our Clinical Trial Guru producers a shout out. These are people who for only $99 a year get to be clinical trial producers. They get to be clinical trial guru producers, so they get their very own page on theclinicaltrialsguru.com. They get me tweeting about them, Facebooking about them, going on Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, tons of free promotion. It's only $99 a year. This is like chump change. And it's a great way to promote your research clinic or your own services if you're just an independent consultant in the industry. So let me give a shout out to Sarah Elizabeth Siegler, Resolve Research Solutions, PTNR, all the way in the Netherlands, Accurate Clinical Trials, Erdhard Clinical Trials, and also Patrick Stone at Tradestone LLC. Thank you very much, and hopefully this video was able to help you out. This is Dan from theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Take care.